Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go.
Good morning. Broadcasting across the nation on 99.1, 3.5, 0.7, and 0.9 on the FM band, and we're streaming around the world at www.thebridge99fm.com. We have to give thanks. We survived the weekend, and here we are to get you up and on the go. So we're giving thanks for life. We are, in fact, alive and kicking. We're not like the president of South Africa, who this morning wakes up in a situation where he's battling COVID-19. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is receiving treatment for mild COVID-19 symptoms after testing positive for the disease yesterday. We understand that a number of members of his entourage who visited some 4 African countries last week came down with the virus, and so did the president of South Africa, the latest president, as far as we know, to have contracted the coronavirus. We understand that he's self-isolating in Cape Town and is being monitored by the South African Military Health Service. So we wish the president of South Africa speedy recovery. Just want to remember, in fact, when you look at it, DJ Audley, this COVID-19 is respecter of none.
None.
I mean, I was looking a while ago at an article, and I saw a number of former presidents. I'm not even going through, I'm not exhausting the list, but some of the names that sprung to mind were like Boris Johnson, UK Prime Minister, Emmanuel Macron, French President. There was the Brazilian President, Jair Bolsonaro. All of these names are persons who contracted. You're pointing at yourself. You contracted it also. Yeah. And you survived, thankfully. Other presidents, not just you now, but other presidents also on the list would be President Trump. You remember President Trump and Melania Trump, also his wife. Alexander Lukashenko of Belarus. Yeah, these are names of persons, big names around the world. Juan Hernandez, the president of Honduras. Prince Albert and Prince Charles. Yeah, the wife of the Canadian Prime Minister, Sophia Trudeau. She also contracted the COVID-19. And so many of us, very ordinary people, have had this difficulty. It's a really, really serious time. It's the pandemic, and we've got to be careful. But guess what? We're giving you some hope as you approach this new day. Inside of What the Fact this morning, did you know that eating KFC for Christmas is a Japanese tradition? Well, let me tell you about it. WTF, What the Fact? An estimated 3.6 million Japanese families treat themselves to KFC at Christmas time. That is according to reports coming out of Japan. And we understand that this particular tradition started way back in 1974 through a marketing campaign called Kentucky for Christmas. And eventually, it sort of morphed into a nationwide tradition which still exists today. So whereas many of us here are looking at eating of all kinds of other food, in Japan, nothing beats some good old KFC at Christmas time. All right, that is the feature. What the Fact? WTF? Right now it's time for the Proverb of the Day. And I think Richie has got it across the glass. And so first of all, we're going to play the proverb, and then we'll give you the translation in English. And after that, if I feel like, no, I will feel like it. I will give you the meaning or the explanation. Richie, you got it? Let's hear it.
Play with puppy dog lick your face. Play with big dog bite you.
Yo, hear that, youth? Play with puppy dog lick your face. But play with big dog, big dog bite you. Remember me tell you that. So that is the proverb of the day. The translation is the easy part, as always, and the translation is: play with a small dog and he will lick your face, but play with a big dog and he or she for that matter, will bite you. Now to the meaning or the explanation. There are three of them that I'm going to share with you this morning. To the proverb, play with puppy dog lick your face. Play with big dog bite you. Here's the first meaning that we have to share. Familiarity breeds contempt. That's the first one. Okay? The second explanation is, if you play out of your league, you may be a lesson you won't forget. If you play out of your league, you may be a lesson you won't forget. Now, the third explanation to that proverb is, you have to strike that even balance. All right? Those are the explanations, three of them, that accompany that particular proverb, which says, play with puppy dog lick your face. Play with big dog bite you. Now we're going off into an interview with Mr. Jesse James Clarke. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Mr. Clarke, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I just want to say a special good morning to the residents of the Trafalgar Division too as well.
All right. You happen to know them well, I suspect.
Yes, I'm their councillor candidate.
All right,
I'm ready to become the councillor.
Wonderful. And you're satisfied with you think they're satisfied with the service that you're providing, Mr. Clarke?
Well, so far, because we had cleanups in several other communities over the weekend.
Great.
And we're continuing during this week too as well.
Oh, fantastic. All right. I made mention of the announcements, some of the announcements that were made recently by the Prime Minister. What are your views in relation to the new curfew measures that were announced by the Prime Minister?
As it relates to the new curfew measures, in terms of the time was never really the major issue for us. The issue was really the gathering, because moving the curfew up by an hour or even two, or even abandoning curfew hours totally, would not necessarily, because when you have reduced curfew hours, you actually increase the amount of gathering that you have taking place, which increases the risk of having transmission of the virus taking place if somebody is in the crowd that is positive. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if you look at in the evenings at the bus stop, it's jam-packed with people rushing to beat the curfew. The JUTC buses, they're crowded too as well, because, we have a transportation crisis too as well. So that only adds more pressure, more traffic, more persons rushing to the supermarket at the last minute to get things. So what you actually want to cut down is the actual gathering of persons, number of persons allowed to gather in any one place at any particular time. Actually, extending the opening hours for some government entities would actually help to reduce the gathering, and having satellite sites. So, for example, like your tax office, if you could have them continue to have those opening hours on the weekends, extend the hours during the week too as well. Of course, you'd have to compensate the staff for that too as well, or have a shift system. Mm-hmm. But those are things that you can do to reduce the crowding. You can encourage the private sector to open the banks on the weekend, so persons can use the banks on the weekend too as well. And even having extended hours too, so you reduce the amount of persons that would need to gather at any given point in time. So extending the hours, moving the opening hours of a beach, which is an open space, from 4 to 5. It doesn't really impact the chance of spread of COVID that much, because the beach is actually an open space so as well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing you. To the best of your knowledge, have these alternate ideas been communicated with the government?
Yes, we have always been championing these cause from the beginning. What I'm saying to you, most of what I'm saying to you is nothing new now. Several members have raised it in Parliament as well. Comrade Mark Golding raised it to us earlier on in the pandemic, and is what we need now to as well to fight the spread of COVID going forward is greater collaboration between both the opposition and the governing party, because it's the only way we're going to be able to pull all our supporters together and all Jamaicans together to get them to understand that we are really in a serious fight to save our country. And I would just like to add to, for healthcare workers, I've been asking that we we provide some sort of incentive to reward our healthcare workers for the work that they have contributed so far. I don't want them to get only a plaque or a medal. I want them to get something that can be passed on from one generation to the next. So, for example, you can increase the amount of money that they can borrow from NHD to build their house. So increase it from 6.5 to probably like 8.5, so that they can afford to purchase a home. So they would have something to, something lasting, not just a plaque or something like that.
There's a little crack in the transmission a while ago. You said moving it from 6.5 to what was the recommendation?
18.5
to 18.5. Yes.
So each healthcare worker should be able to borrow that so that they can afford to purchase a home.
Yeah.
They really sacrificed a lot, both personally and to save many lives during this pandemic with lack of resources. So.
Why that figure 18.5? It's based on what is happening in the marketplace.
Right. What is happening currently in the marketplace is very difficult to get a house, a proper house for less than that.
Okay.
Especially if you're a single person.
Valid.
A young person at that.
Yeah. Valid suggestion indeed. The Prime Minister also spoke about mandatory work from home order, which now is going to be ending on December 31. Does that sit well with you and your party?
It is. I suspect that it is in anticipation. What I would suggest is that anybody that can work from home or any duties that can be carried out from home, that you allow those persons to stay home, because I don't think we should have just a wide scale listing of the measures. You might have to get more specific than that in terms of having different categories of persons, because we don't have the space to have the proper social distancing for persons in a lot of these government offices. So it would be best to, and I think it was probably set in anticipation of having COVID under control by the time the new year is supposed to start. But with the low vaccination rate, that is not looking very likely. And the holiday season coming up too as well. So we just really have to start. Because it's a virus, it's not something that we have control over. We can't just assume that it was going to be the end of it by that time. But I'm hoping that if things start to go a particular direction, we can make the relevant changes for the new year too as well. Because I think we might be going back to having persons working from home as much as possible.
Okay.
Because the gathering is really where we're having the issue. It's not so much the hours, but the gathering.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What are your thoughts on the recent efforts of the government in terms of their vaccination efforts?
Well, I'm not pleased with the vaccination efforts. I think that we could have done more from early out, and I think we still currently can do more because the government took so long to roll out the door-to-door vaccination process, and when they finally did, they were saying that it's only for persons who are disabled and persons who are elderly and can make it to a vaccination site. And I'm saying they should open it up for everyone. We currently have pharmacists in Jamaica who have been trained to administer the vaccine, and we're not using them because there's something in our law that prevents us from using it. But they are trained and they can go ahead and do it, and I think that is something that we should utilize to and make use of it, because they can help to ease the pressure of the nurses and the doctors who would need to be inside the hospital where we are under a lot of pressure. So, and I also suggested earlier in the year that we should include our tertiary students or final year nursing students to come on board to help with the vaccination process, and to compensate them by paying off the school fee and locking them into contracts for when they graduate, so that we don't have the shortage of staff that we keep happening, happening, because there was an incident early up in the year where close to 30 nurses just left one institution at one point in time. That can cripple your system too as well. So you want to ensure that you have a constant supply of staff and you equip them properly with the proper PPEs and all of that too as well. So we need to get our young people to help. They can really contribute a whole lot to fighting this virus and to the quality of healthcare that we have been delivering.
There seems to be consensus between the two main parties in terms of the importance of vaccination across the nation, but we're still having that reluctance and so on going on. What's your message to the public this morning?
Oh, I'm encouraging everyone to get vaccinated, and I'm encouraging them to as well to call on the authorities to clean up the communities too as well. We don't just want it to be a Christmas thing where you just clean up the communities. You make funds available just for Christmas to do that type of cleaning, but we need to have our communities routinely sanitized because it might not be COVID, it can be another disease later on, so it should become a habit. Proper routine garbage collection. I know in Kingston and St. Andrew, in Trafalgar Division to be specific, we suffer from very poor garbage collection. Most times here is because they don't have enough trucks, they don't have workers haven't been paid, things like that. In a pandemic situation, you don't want to have a case where you're not getting rid of your garbage. You should even be increasing how often you collect the garbage now at this point in time. So that's why we are trying our very best to push into our cleanup projects. And if you move around the right team, have more scientists on the road instead of your politicians explaining to persons the importance of the vaccination and counseling them into getting the vaccine and to helping them to understand the benefits of getting the vaccine. I think they would accept it, but we have to just try and push as best with the door-to-door vaccination and testing. Testing is very critical in preventing the spread because you want to be able to identify whenever you start to have an outbreak or a cluster in a particular area that you identify it rapidly and put in the proper measures to stop it from spreading. So you
Elections,
have to start making use of the testing.
Elections are just around the corner. It is expected sometime early next year. How prepared are you in your division?
Well, we have been preparing from I have been selected as a candidate, and I've been gelling. The extra time has worked in my favor. I've gotten a chance to build relationships with many persons in the division. I've also covered a lot of different projects in the different communities, especially in the most vulnerable communities. So we try our best to we have been gelling well with the people in the division, and looking forward to the elections. Get into high gear, but I'm also willing to wait to see how this COVID thing goes because I don't think we should test the waters with an election. We should test the waters with schools. So try to get schools back up and running first. So that should be a number one priority before we start even considering any type of election.
All right. Yesterday was former Prime Minister and your former leader's birthday. Hope you took the time to wish her well.
Yes, absolutely. We are very proud of our first female Prime Minister of Jamaica, and we, I want to continue to wish her all of God's blessings and to thank her again for her service to Jamaica.
All right, Jesse James Clarke, Jr., a Shadow Minister of Health for the People's National Party. Wonderful talking with you, Jesse. Have a good time, and Merry Christmas when it comes to you and your family.
Thanks, and Merry Christmas to you too, and to everyone at the bridge.
Thank you. We appreciate that. It's 14 and a half minutes on the downside of 8 o'clock, and that was a chat, as we said, with the Junior Shadow Minister of Health for the People's National Party, Mr. Jesse James Clarke. In about 6 or so minutes, we have For the Love of Health. I saw where a member of our legislature had put forward some names that he felt should be considered for to be appointed national heroes, and it's names like Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, there was Jimmy Cliff, and Miss Lou among those names that were put forward recently by opposition Senator Floyd Morris. So let me see. Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, Jimmy Cliff, and Miss Lou are on that list. And he says this should take place in time for Jamaica's 60th independence celebrations. Part of the document reads, whereas the Honorable Robert Nesta, Bob Marley, the Honorable James Chambers, Jimmy Cliff, the Honorable Louise Bennett Coverley, Miss Lou, and the Honorable Usain St. Leo Bolt have all given most distinguished service to Jamaica in the areas of music and sports and culture. And whereas these citizens have presented Jamaica in a fabulous light across the world and contributed to the dominance of the country in reggae music, sports, and culture since the country gained political independence in 1962, and it continues be it resolved that these conferments be made in time for the 60th anniversary of Jamaica's independence on August 6, 2022. That is what Senator Floyd Morris had in the document that he presented in the upper house. Well, there are many reactions coming in for that. Most of what I have seen are to a great extent in agreement, but there are others, including Mandingo, who writes me out of the United Kingdom and who says being a national hero is completely different from being a superstar athlete or a superstar singer or superstar actor for that matter. He says a national hero is one who sacrificed their lives in revolutionary struggle for their people, like what Paul Bogle, Marcus Garvey, Nana, and Daddy Sam Sharp did. That is what Mandingo is putting forward this morning. The discussion is definitely on. I saw the penalty that was referred to by Athena with Raheem Sterling.
Did it?
Yeah. Puts him in a whole different league now. 100 Premier League goals.
Listen,
that is an awesome achievement.
Listen,
Yeah.
not to disrespect anybody at all, but when that was mentioned, I'm like, Sterling score. Sterling score 100 goals.
Yes, already. And the majority of them, I think 80 out of those goals actually came whilst being at Manchester
Man
City.
City?
Yeah.
That's
So
my team.
I think about 12 or so maybe when he was at Liverpool.
Yeah.
And now he has come into his own. The coach is actually saying a lot of good things about him. The coach is saying that he was going through a little drop in form when he wasn't starting many of these matches, but now he's a regular on the Man City team, and things are looking good. And I'm sure that he's going to be highly motivated going forward. But the coach, you know how he is, he had to say something like, if, I don't remember the names of the players, but he said if two of those players were on the pitch, it might not have been Sterling who would be asked to take the penalty. But he was quite happy with the result as they beat Wolves on the weekend. Congratulations, Raheem Sterling. We're proud of you. And I know that Marvelly, where you're from, is celebrating right now. God, you had a real big man. Big respects. 20 minutes now before the hour of 9 o'clock. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Season's greetings. Who is calling?
I'm Julian. This is Julian.
Julian.
Yes.
Where are you calling from, Julian?
I'm calling from Kingston.
You're in Kingston. All right. How's the Christmas looking from where you are right now?
Hi, it's looking good so far.
It can be even better if you're in the winner's enclosure this morning, right?
Yes.
And that is
I know
that is where we want to put you. So, and you know something, I'm going to give you a fairly easy question. You said Julian, right?
Yes.
If you answer this correctly, then you'll be a winner, and we have a nice gift package courtesy of Some Powers for you. So, here's your chance to win. Just answer this question. Who sang the famous Christmas song, Gee Whiz, It's Christmas? That is the question for you, Julian. If you can answer correctly, then we'll give you this gift package courtesy of Some Powers. So, again, who sang the famous Christmas song, Gee Whiz, It's Christmas? What is your answer, Julian?
I am going to say...
You're going to say what? I can give you 10 more seconds because if you're doing the research, you're going to get cut off. Yeah, what's your answer? Yes? What's your answer?
I'm thinking.
No, you're out of time, Julian. We got to go. Sorry, Julian.
Okay,
That won't do. That won't do, Julian. I repeated the question. I gave you time. And if it's something that you knew, you'd have given the answer already, man. Come on, Julian. I'm thinking. Look like I'll 10-20, Julian. Still, I think. No, we got to move on. And 876-676-4996. If you can tell us who sang the famous Christmas song, Gee Whiz, It's Christmas, then we'll put you in the winner's enclosure. Hello there on the telephone. Good morning. You're on the air. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
Season's greetings to you. Who is calling?
This is Debs from St. Catherine.
Debs out of St. Catherine. How are you doing today, Debs? How was your weekend?
It was great, actually.
All right, no further details required, Debs. That's fine. You can stop right there. I'm glad to know that. And Christmas looking good from here for you?
So far, so good.
Okay, wonderful. Now then, you heard the song. Who sang that famous Christmas song, Gee Whiz, It's Christmas? If you give us the correct answer, we've got a gift package courtesy of Sampar's Smarter Shopping. What's your answer, Debs?
What did you say the song was, Gee Whiz?
Gee Whiz, It's Christmas. No. Let's see what Debs comes with. This is an easy one.
Whiz?
Gee Whiz, It's Christmas. Who's the person who sang the song originally? Can you tell us?
Original?
Yeah, we're going way back. Play the
Way
song, DJ
back?
Audley. Yeah. You don't know it?
Not necessarily. I know it's a Thomas something, but I'm not sure.
Really? What is the answer that you're giving me? Your final answer is what?
I don't know. Carla Thomas, I think. I don't remember.
What name did you say?
I think it's a female.
And what's your answer?
What, Carla Thomas or something like that? I don't remember.
Did you say Carla Thomas?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's what you think, huh?
I'm not sure, honestly.
You're really not
I'm just
sure?
guessing. No.
Well, you are a winner!
I'm a winner.
It is indeed Carla Thomas.
Oh, gosh.
says, I
I
think
had the
Yeah?
record. Yes.
Well, there you go. Congratulations, Debs. Merry Christmas to you and your family, all right?
Thank you.
All right, it worked this morning, she says. I think it's Thomas or something. It's a female. I think her name is Carla. Yeah, you're right. It's Carla Thomas. You're a winner, Debs. Just like that. So, as it is now, I'm not too certain if the information that is reaching my ears is correct. But as a Portlander, something like this happens in my parish or the parish of my birth, you would expect that I'd be the one that persons over there would reach out to and say, hey, Richard, did you hear about this? Well, you're wondering where I'm going, right? Well, it is believed that currently a particular yacht is docked up over there in Portland. This yacht, it is believed, is valued at somewhere in the region of $300 million US. When we did the research, we understand it was built in this year 2021 by Lursen Yachts. They build some of the most exquisite yachts in the world. And it is supposed to be 115 meters long or 378 feet long. It can take 14 guests and 26 crew members. I'm spending a little time talking about this yacht because it is also now emerging that this yacht is actually owned by a Jamaican. You all look very surprised.
Call name Richie.
So, wait a while.
Call name Richie. Call name Richie.
Give me a little time. This yacht, built as I told you by Lursen Yacht, the designer of it is the world-renowned Novolari Leonard. His name is synonymous with exquisite yachts. It was built this year. It's not an old yacht. It's brand spanking new. And it is, as I told you, valued at some $300 million US. The annual running cost, $30 million US. So on top of buying it for $300 million, you better be prepared to spend about $30 million US per year. The owner, before I give you the name of the owner, take a look at it, man. Here, look at that, son. That's what we're talking about. You see what we're talking about? And if you look closely, you will see AHPD. I don't know what that means, but the letters are right there at the front of this $300 million yacht. And like I said, from all indications, Richie, this yacht is owned by a Jamaican. More than that, as a Portlander, it is owned by a Portlander.
Richie, man,
Does that? No, it's not me. Come on, you're crazy or something. Usher him out. Now, I'm not at liberty to take tales out of school, though. So let's just leave it right there for now. But I want to say congratulations to this very rich Jamaican who it is believed owns that yacht, which is currently or recently was docked in Portland. It is quite spectacular. I looked at some of the images, and let me tell you something. Fantastic investment. Congratulations, sir. And I hope it serves you well. And it's now time for us to have a chat with, as we mentioned earlier, Miss Ivaline Nikki. She's the founder and executive director of Annie Dawson Home for Children. And that is a home, we understand, that cares for disadvantaged children by providing a safe, family-oriented environment where they are loved, nurtured, and in fact, and importantly, protected. The home, my information is, started with 9 girls and is now home for 25 children who are provided with a small stipend from the Jamaican government. They rely at the Annie Dawson Home for Children on donations to survive and keep the children fed and clothed, and getting some support through their educational, in terms of their education and medical needs, and to keep a roof over their head. And we want to say good morning and welcome to Miss Ivaline Nikki, the home's founder and executive director, who's going to tell us more about how we can even assist going forward. Good morning, Miss Nikki. How are you?
Good morning, Richie B, and good morning, everyone. I'm just doing very well, thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and season's greetings to you.
And the same to you, sir.
We appreciate that. Miss Nikki, when was this Annie Dawson Home for Children founded?
It was founded in June 14, 2013.
Okay, and what inspired you to decide or dedicate so much of your time to creating a home for these less fortunate children?
I will tell you in the shortest possible time I can.
Yes.
A long story. I was born and grew up in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I came to this country when I was barely 22 years old to study, and it became my adopted home.
Okay.
But as a child, my mother and father, Annie and Dawson Nikki, always had children in their home. It was like a children's home, but not officially. They were always taking children into their home. Sometimes it was a child in my class at primary school that disliked me most. I went home and found that I better learn to live with. It was a situation where at lunchtime you could take any number of children home who wanted lunch. My mother was a person who retired when she had me, so I was fortunate to have her. And with her kind of background, she always, and a devout Christian, always told us that if there was a child in need, not that we were wealthy at all, but we could bring that child home. So sometimes I went home with 9, 8, 5, depending on the needs. They just joined the file and headed to the home with me, and Mommy would just ask, because sometimes the good afternoon, Mommy Nikki, was so much that she would just ask, how many of you, Ivaline? And I would just tell her, you know.
Yes.
And sometimes she had a fan cooling the hot food, and that fan would be cleaned religiously every week, depending. And she would just feed everyone. And at summer and Easter and Christmas time, our home was the hub for all the children whose parents went to work and needed a place to hang out, where they would be fed and cared for. So that's how it is. There was, at that time, no children's home in that country. Now I think they might have 1, maybe 2. Yes, so that's what inspired me.
That inspired you from way back when, and now here you are at the Annie Dawson Home for Children. What's the age range of the children that you actually have there?
We have here from 4 to 18 years old.
And I understand it's about numbering about 25 these days?
Yes, we really licensed for 33, but We really have never gone beyond 28, so we have 25.
25. What are some of the challenges that you have, though, in terms of caring for these children?
Wow, there are so many, so many. We really, as you know, the government needed help from people like us to help to take care of these children. So they appealed, and although it was later than I planned to do so, because I actually started when I retired, so we jumped in. So we actually, the needs are many and varied. We need people to help because we have a number of special needs children, so we need people to help with their educational needs. We need people to help with counseling, guidance and counseling. We need people to help with homework programs, and of course, any help with food or clothing, but clothing in good condition. Nothing that you wouldn't give your child to use, we would want to accept. So if it's to be thrown away, we would prefer that you throw it away.
and not pass it on.
Yeah, because that's what my mother did. I learned that from her. She gave the best,
Yes.
So those are some of the needs. But major need we have confronting us right now is that we need a home of our own. From the inception, we have been leasing a property at 76 Havendale Drive. I came here from my location in Ligani because I had that in mind. I came here to live so that I could prepare this place. So I actually started preparing for it in 2005 while I was still working. So each month I would buy what we need, so sometimes that kind of thing, until I was ready. And then we got the property leased rather than the regular monthly rental. And I had asked if they were selling, and they said they were not quite ready, but whenever they were ready, they'd make sure that I had the first
priority.
But when it was time, that was not so at all. They asked me to have it valued, which I did, and it was valued for a certain figure. But they almost doubled the figure in terms of what they were asking for it, because the developers were coming into the area. They are in right next door to me right now, and the price hiked, and we just knew that we couldn't afford.
Yes.
Even with a lot of help, it would be just so much. So we
started looking around again, or what?
Well, we managed to secure a piece of land because we wrote to an agency of government for support.
Yes.
And they have given us a piece of land. The legalities are still being finalized at Stony Hill. So we're really needing help now to build on that piece of land at Stony Hill. And while we're here, to start the home, I had a second-hand, 1996 Town Ace. And I used that to make several trips in the mornings to take my children to school, to pick them up, to go to school if there was a meeting or whatever. And because of lack of maintenance, because the children's priority in terms of caring for them, their needs educationally, medical needs and all the other needs, that ran down. And so right now, if we are to take up the property at Stony Hill, if we are to build at Stony Hill, which we definitely are planning to do, we are going to need transportation, at least a 15-seater bus. We've had children attending Queens, St. Andrew High, Meadowbrook High, Pembroke Hall High. So to have those all over the place coming down, and Genesis Academy, we have a significant number of children attending Genesis Academy down at Camp Road, because we have a number of children who are special needs, and that's a special needs high school.
So transportation is something that you want to factor in terms of your needs.
Exactly.
How can the public assist you in getting this building started, though?
Well, I don't know what. Well, to me, we need money and we need skills. So if there are persons with skills when we are ready, or we need people to do plans, any kind of help that would be needed for a building, to start a building, and we need donations of cash as well to help us get the materials that we need, and so on and so forth.
So you don't have a plan yet. I mean, you're now in the process of securing the land, but it's not like you have a design per se that.
No, and we're definite that we will be getting the land. It's just the final leg of it, but we do not yet have the plan because in recent years, there have been 2 fires at homes for children. And the government stipulated that they would like certain things to be in place. So there would have to be some discussion with the child protection because that's the agency we would go through and so on. But, yes.
Well, I tell you, Ms. Nikki, I want to first of all commend you on what you have been doing. And now you're at 25, although you started with just a mere 8 or so young ladies back in the day. Commendations to you and the team there for what you have been doing so far.
Thank you. Thank you. I was just going to say the team is really... I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it alone.
No,
and there are some positives in the fact that you've now been basically afforded the opportunity of getting this piece of land in Stony Hill, and I hope that going forward you'll get the required support, the necessary support. But how can persons make contact if they're interested in providing you with some degree of support?
Well, there is a bank account at NCB, 234-359-142, NCB Crossroads, that people could donate to. And we do have a website, and there is an address on that. Oh, I'm not sure if how to put it, but we do have a website, and people can also donate through that website. And locally, we use spur.com, spuropen.com as well. That's another place that you
is your website Annie Dawson's Home?
Yes, Annie Dawson Home for Children.
Okay. Well, thanks for putting that out there, and I wish you well going forward. I wish you and the staff and the young children at the home all the best for the season, and may 2022 bring you a lot more satisfaction so that you can, in fact, do even more than you're currently doing. Thanks for talking with us, and best wishes going forward.
Thank you for having me on your program. We really appreciate this.
All right. Thank you so much, too.
You,
God bless you.
Have a lovely Christmas, you and the team at Bridge.
Thank you, Miss Nikki. That's Miss Ivaline Nikki, founder and executive director of Annie Dawson Home for Children. She highlighted some of the needs that they have and some of the plans as well. And if you can assist, you know how to make contact. Do that. And be of good cheer. So, news coming out of the United Kingdom is that they have now confirmed their first death from Omicron. The Omicron variant has caused the first death in the United Kingdom. And that was announced earlier today by Prime Minister Boris Johnson. So that is the very latest that we're getting out of the UK. In the US, most people known to have been infected with the Omicron variant have had mild symptoms so far, but most of those affected were in fact previously vaccinated. And that is coming out of New York City, where today, by the way, and this is something maybe DJ Roy is going to be talking to me about, no doubt, the fact that there's a new mandate that requires people to wear a mask in all indoor public spaces starting today. So that is a development out of New York City that no doubt will affect many persons. It's now time to hear Jamaica's pride and joy, the one and only DJ Roy. Morning. Good morning, sir. I heard the tail end of your comment, something about Voice of Jamaica, so I just quickly interjected and said Jamaica's pride and joy, the one and only DJ Roy.
well let me say this. Your voice here in New York City is a breath of fresh air.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, sir. How you doing?
I'm fine, man. I can't complain at all. Still got snow on the outside.
Wow.
We got like 12 inches of snow on Saturday, on Friday.
Really? 12 inches?
12 inches. It's not in, I'm not in New York, though.
Oh.
Okay, New York is good.
Oh.
Where I am at, we got 12 inches. Now, Brethren.
Yes,
I sent something to your email. I'm not sure if you can play anything from your inbox today, but I suggest you look in your inbox. This one was penned by yours truly. It's in your inbox.
Yay!
That's all I'm saying for now.
I'm in there right now, and I'm seeing something that I really like. I haven't heard it yet, but thank you.
Look in that. Awesome. Now that you've seen it, I guess when I'm playing, just take a listen.
Yes.
It is, of course, Jamaica radio friendly.
Yes.
And we always talk about, station identification. And I know you got Canada tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
So I said, you know what? I need one for me and I need one for Richie.
What are friends for? DJ Audley can't wait to see. So I'm going to share with it just a screenshot there, son. Thank you, sir. And thanks to the general himself.
Okay. Now, Richie.
Yes,
I heard that you acquired a yacht. Now, Richie, how I know it's your yacht, Richie, it is parked in your parish. It is docked. Oddly, don't make Richie B trick you. It is docked in his parish.
That is what you call, listeners, a preemptive strike. Because that is exactly where I was going. My argument would have been, DJ Roy, how come you didn't tell me about this investment? But now you're throwing it back at me. The fact is, it looks like the initials of the owner could very well be MLC. Yeah. Four letters in the last name. And I'm in dialogue with persons in Portland who are saying to me, Rich, I heard about it. I'm going there to take pictures. And it's $300 million that yacht is valued, DJ Roy. That's a major investment.
That's a serious investment. I mean, just maintenance on that, Richie, must be ridiculous.
$30 million per year has to be budgeted for that alone.
Wow.
Yeah, major. Owned by a Jamaican, not Richie B.
and docked in Jamaica, too.
In Portland, the parish of my birth. I tell you, boy. Fantastic stuff. Major investment. It reminds me of the last time I saw you here on the compound, and when I went outside and I saw a vehicle sitting on four wheels, I was like, yo!
It's a rent-a-car.
You're sharp. You're really sharp.
It's a rent-a-car.
Yes, sir.
They have them on the island.
All right, Roy.
My selections just getting New York City, Connecticut, New Jersey, and, of course, Jamaica ready for the living legend, Burning Spear. And when you talk about an artist that has toured the world and been places where many of our artists have not been, it is Burning Spear, man.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that one. 12-time Grammy nominee, 2-time Grammy Award winner, has been awarded the Order of Distinction by the government of Jamaica. And one who we don't hear often. Many of us in this lifetime have never heard him speak in a radio interview. We have him this Wednesday morning for sure. Great selections, DJ Roy.
Indeed. And you know what's amazing, Richie? When he's in New York, he actually lives a stone throw away from the Ivy Jam Studios. He's right off Merritt Boulevard. Okay. So I'll see him in the health food store from time to time.
Okay.
I have a bridging that does, his merchandise, like T-shirts and stuff like that. His name is Flint G. Damani. Yeah. But we could never get him in the station. So this is big. This is huge, Richie.
When I spoke with him and he handed the phone back to his manager, she said to me, Richie, I don't know what you said to the big man, but you have him grinning from ear to ear.
Wow.
We're looking forward to it. Wednesday morning, it's going to be historical. Don't miss it, ladies and gentlemen. Burning Spear in live and living color with us right here on The Bridge and on Ivy Jam Radio.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.